She started to ask the maternity specialists to help her. Yet they didn't have the foggiest idea how they could out of nowhere. She thought of and thought, "I'm all right with one child. Kindly take the young lady to the woodland and leave her for creatures to eat." Quite some time. In the past, there was a conflict between individuals of UMO, and Umu de the UMO champions won the conflict, and their lord trained them to take as quite a large number hostages as they could accumulate. Among those hostages was a bit kid called Anayo. Anai was damaged by the conflict. Since he watched the fighters butcher his folks and sisters, the injury impacted him in such a way that he was unable to express a word, so all he did was cry constantly. In the slave camp one day, a famous boss visited the camp and picked interest in Anay. The boss was old buddy with the lord, so he inquired as to whether he could take Anay home, and obviously the ruler concurred. Anay was extremely fortunate in light of the fact that a couple days after the fact, the lord told that the slaves be killed on the grounds that he found their plot to kill his own kin. He thought to himself, "In the event that I don't dispose of them now, they will kill us, every one of the one day." But since of the relationship the ruler had with the central, he let the young man leave. So Anay started living with the boss and his better half, Ul. They were both exceptionally kind to him. Anything that they might have given their own kid, they provided for Anay anyway. Their main concern was his powerlessness. To talk a while later, the boss carried a dotted goat to the house for the celebration festivities. Anna and his mom were sitting outside when he showed up, and promptly, Anaya put his focus on the goat. He started to shout what felt like perceptible words. Mama the boss and his significant other were stunned. They expressed gratitude toward God abundantly, in light of the fact that their child had given indications that he might talk again one day. And for sure, they were not wrong in light of the fact that Anai began talking more words every day anyway. He never discussed his past. What's more, his folks never constrained him to, since in light of the fact that they realized it was a horrible experience for him. Likewise, they saw that multiple times a day he would go out to take care of the goats. So his mom proposed, "And why not buy our child a couple products, perhaps?" His late dad was a merchandise rancher. Since he's so keen on dealing with the products, the man did that his significant other proposed and purchased 2 or 3 few more goats. He likewise started to prepare the kid in the craft of goat wearing. As the kid grew up into a man, he turned into a well-off goat rancher. As a matter of fact, he was likewise the most qualified unhitched male in the town. Each woman needed a piece of him. However, tragically for them, he had his eyes set on Che anyway. Cha's more youthful sister, NMA, was despondent about that. She proved unable to comprehend the reason why Anna would pick Che over her. As frequently as she could, she would stand before the mirror and start to laud herself's magnificence. Sharp, exceptionally sharp. Who doesn't want the most lovely young lady in the town? In any event, ruler and heroes are trying to wed me without a doubt. She was not lying. Each man in the town needed nor aside from Anayo. At long last, an opportunity came for her to grab a knife from her sister one night. Her mom asked her to proceed to search for her sister, since she was curiously late, and actually look at the homestead, yet she was not there, so she chose to really look at A's home. At the point when she arrived, she met an alcoholic and relaxing under the tree. She called out to him, and in his plastered state, he answered, "Music," saying, "My love." She needed to leave. However, at that point, a thought entered her thoughts, and she chose to decide to double-cross her sister that night. "Yes, my affection, it is me," she answered. She then, at that point, drove Anna into his heart and allowed him to take her virginity, and similarly, as they were finished having intercourse, she heard Cha calling, "Anay, where are you? Come out, gracious. I need to rush home to my mother," Norma rapidly answered. Without thinking often about her sister's feelings, "We are here." Sha went into Anna's H with her light, and when she arrived, she saw Norma laying on Anna's body. She rapidly ran out of the H, since she proved unable to accept that 2 individuals she adored so much had double-crossed her like that. Throughout the following couple of days, Ane asked Chio as frequently as he could. He told her that he could never deliberately sting her, however it was past the point of no return. Since In was demanding a wed her since he had accepted her pride as a lady, the two guardians assembled a conference, and they presumed that it was the best step to take. So it was true. Norma and Anna would get hitched at last, nor one on. She wedded her first love, and in light of the fact that Anna was a thoughtful man, he regarded her and never abused her. Despite the fact that he didn't love her, however, she didn't mind. She would continuously tell her friend, when I give areas of strength for him, he will cherish me." However, she was wrong. During the primary year of her marriage, she didn't get pregnant. In the second year, there was still no pregnancy. Up until the 10th year, she was discouraged. She started to imagine that perhaps God was rebuffing her for what she did to Sharma Ane. Then again, never compelled her fairly. He attempted to recommend that they take one of the orphans from the town and raise as their own. Yet whenever he raised the idea, Emma would cry, blaming him for calling her uncovering. Well, toward the finish of the 10th year, Enime at last became pregnant. She proved unable to contain her delight, and same went for Anayo. He arranged the greatest party the town had found in some time to commend her pregnancy. 9 months after the fact, she conveyed twins, a kid and a young lady. Yet there was an issue. The young lady's skin was unusual, as per normal. When she saw the child, she shouted. Even the 2 birthing specialists present at conveyance couldn't make sense of what they were seeing. She started to cry. "How to let down my adversaries. Gracious, they will giggle at me. What sort of skin is this?" She started to ask the maternity specialists to help her, yet they didn't have the foggiest idea how they could abruptly. She came think of and thought, "I'm all right with 1 child. If it's not too much trouble, take the young lady to the backwoods and forsake her for creatures to eat. My significant other should not see her. He will abhor me something else for humiliating him in this way." The birthing specialist at first rejected. However, she offered them an extraordinary measure of cash, and they acknowledged the deed was finished and unmoved on with her life. As a mother of a bobbing child, Kid the heir to Anne's fortune. However, hardship soon struck. Half a month after conveyance, when Yun was laying down with her child Kid, she erroneously turned over and choked him to death. When she awakened in the morning, she was melancholy. "Hello, woe, my foes are at long last found me." The following couple of months were very discouraging for her. She decided to proceed to set things right with her sister, who had moved to the adjoining town, to try not to see Ane, and together kindly proceed to wed my better half. He still and has consistently adored you. I will always be unable to make him blissful. After Norma's treachery, Cha stayed unmarried. She was unable to bring herself to be with another man other than Ane. He was her first love. When she had Nora's offer, she turned it down in any case. Went to Anayo and asked him to come and persuade her. He was exceptionally happy at the deal, not on the grounds that he thought often about kids, but since he, at long last, had the chance to accompany his cheo. Well, she acknowledged, and soon of their marriage, she got pregnant, and 9 months after the fact, she conceived an offspring. Yet, like her sister, she had a child with the same kind of skin. Despite the fact that she was confounded, she said thanks to God for the kid, and afterward inquired the birthing specialist to call her significant other to see the child. No man Ano came into the heart together. However, quickly, Anayo set his eyes on the youngster. He wrung to the floor and started sobbing. Momi, that youngster had similar skin as his mother that was killed in the conflict. Just like the spotted goat helped him to remember his mom's skin, so did this new child. What's more, interestingly, he talked about his late mother openly and her skin condition. The child's skin condition is what we call PISM in this current day, and it's anything but a life-threatening condition. He moved and expressed gratitude toward God for presenting to somebody that would remind him of his late mother, and couldn't really accept that what was happening, she was unable to accept. She lost the chance to give her better half pleasure. Furthermore, briefly it seemed like long periods of melancholy, hurt dismissal, and torment overflowed her recollections. Promptly she let out a noisy shout, and when everybody attempted to take care of her, they understood that she had freaked out. Norma was distraught. No one knew how to fix her, not even the best cultivator in adjoining towns. And very much like that, Norma stayed frantic until she passed away. The lesson of this story can be tracked down in the Book of Adages, 14:12. There is a way which seeth right unto a man, however the end thereof are the methods of death in basic terms. Let all of us be cautious with the choices we make. Recollect, wrong choices generally lead to calamity, regardless of what amount of time it requires.